Hi, moms. My name is Mary, and I am a birthing doula. Today, I want to talk to you about how would you know when you are in labor. Well, first, I need you to understand that only 5% of all babies are actually born on their due date. Now, let's take it another step further. Normally, what I like to do is tell my moms some signs and symptoms to look for that will let her know that her body is preparing itself to go into labor and to give birth to her baby. Now, there are three signs that I normally tell my moms to look for that lets her know the body's preparing itself. One of those signs is when the baby does what we call drop. Now, the medical terminology for today is called lightning. But basically, all it is normally you carry the baby up high, the baby's in your ribs. The baby then begin to put itself into the birthing position. So it slides down, or it drops, or it's lightening itself. Another sign that I tell moms to look for is like when they start having some contractions or pains, but the contractions and the pains are all over the place. They're irregular. You had one this morning, you had another one 2 hours later, one was 5 minutes, one was two. The contractions are all over the place. You cannot even time them regularly. Those are called Braxton Hicks commercials, or we call them false labor pains. Another thing that I tell my moms to look for is when they have or begin to experience what they call nesting. Now, what is nesting? Nesting simply means when mom gets this burst of energy. Mom wants to cook, she wants to clean, she wants to do the laundry, she wants to prepare the baby room, she wants to cut the grass, she wants to paint the house, she wants to do it all at the same time. And she says she got to do it before the baby comes. Now, I remember back in my days, I used to hear the older folks say, she's just getting ready to have that baby. So, those are the three things, signs that moms can look for to let her know that her body is beginning to prepare itself to go into labor and to have the baby. Now, how do you know when you're actually in labor? Two things that's going to happen that's going to let you know that you are in labor. The first thing is your contraction. Those contractions that we said was false, it's going to become real. And how will you know when they are real? It's because you will be able to set your watch by them. They're going to become so regular, you'll be able to time them. With Braxton Hicks contractions, you can't time them because they're all over the place. But when you're in actual labor, you will be able to time your contractions. The other thing that you might need to know is, what does contractions feel like? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever had menstrual cramps? Cramps or pain when you're having your cycle. Well, if you've had pain during your cycle, well, menstrual cramps is a very mild form of contractions. And these contractions may come in your lower stomach or they may be in your back. But if you can time them, then you're probably in labor. The other thing that might show you and tell you that you are in labor is when your water breaks. Now, your water can break in two different ways. One, it can break silently and quietly. For instance, like you go to the restroom, you use the restroom, you're cleaning yourself up, but then the water continues to flow. And you can't stop it no matter how much you squeeze. You can't stop the water from flowing. Well, there's a great possibility that your water has just broken. And then you might be in the grocery store shopping, because remember, you nesting, you got all this superwoman energy, and you're out there doing everything you think you got the energy to do. And while you're in the grocery store shopping, your water bag just simply explodes, gives a big gush of fluid, and everyone around you begin to scream because they know that you are in labor and they know you are about to have a baby. Sometimes when your water breaks, you don't always have contractions right away. And then sometimes when you're having contractions, your water don't always break right away. Normally, if you're having contractions and your water don't break and you're at the hospital because you could time them now, Sometimes the doctor has to go in and break the water for you. And then sometimes if your water break and you're not having contractions, by the time you get to the hospital, you're probably going to have some contractions. But mom, I just want you to keep in mind and remember that your body's going to prepare itself. It's going to give you some warning signs to let you know it's getting ready to have the baby. Remember those 3 warning signs: when the baby drops or lightens, when you're having Braxton Hicks contraction or irregular contractions, and when you have that nesting feeling, when you want to clean everything up. And then when the actual time comes, your water's going to break and you're going to have contractions that you're going to be able to time. So mom, I just want to wish you good luck and make sure that you take care of that new baby you're bringing into the world.